the way it's going. That's all we did. Now, other people, they can take what they want. They can say, now if it was Mr. White Man on a TV show, The Great Analysis, or Kissinger or somebody, they could listen to him. But because I ain't saying because we black, but that's what it is. He's a nigger and he can't know nothing, and it don't make no difference how right he is. He can be right all day long. Well, I tell you, if you're going to bet on them people and you ain't going to bet on me, and I'm right all the time and they always wrong, well, you know you headed with them. That's what it adds up to. It's insanity. His people is right, let's say 98% of the time they right. So that means you can bet on what they're doing all the time because they gave 98 out of 100 times they're going to win. And the only way you could lose if those out of the 98 they lose the first two. But all you got to do is borrow the money and the rest of whatever you borrow, and you bet it the next 98 times they're going to hit. Well, you can't lose. Anyway, that's if you had bad luck. Historical update from As-Sabiqun, the model, the example. We have went out of our way to be a model of diligence, longevity, stickability, viability, accuracy, and that's what we've been. That's what we are. When you look at us, that's what people see, unless they're blind. Okay. Therefore, we have the right, and this is not bragging, we have the right and we have the responsibility to select carefully the routes that we're going to take and the routes we're going to recommend during this period of time. Because the people that everyone is listening to are not analyzing correctly. They're making analysis based on how I want it to be. An immigrant wants America to be the land of the free and the home of the brave because he's left everything behind, and when he wants it to be that, okay, for his job and all that, yeah, you get here and you get a job and everything. But if you notice a lot of the names that people are getting killed a lot now, you hear a few African names dropped in there. So the African immigrants are beginning to realize, well, we look just like them. They don't know we immigrants. So before he can find out, he won't know till he done shot me. Well, it is, right? And what to know that I'm on the home team. I'm with y'all. And I don't have enough sense not to reach over in my glove compartment with the police back there because he's going to shoot me. Well, no, they think that they heard what America was and they forgot. They did forget, but they're remembering now. Because you notice the names now, they're mixing enough of those names, Brother Ooga Booga and Sister So-and-so, that they from back home. So they're finding out one thing. And their children are different than the people in high school and the ones that are going to college now. Their parents came here. A lot of people we see at all the places we go. The older Africans in their 40s and 50s, their children in the university now. So their children are technically African Americans. They are Africans, immigrants. But their children live this experience here. They live the the experience of an African in America. Okay. In the old days, the parents, that diligency and that willingness, they had it so hard overseas that anything they encountered here was easy and sweet. But their kids are not like that. They read the Constitution, they said, hey, hold it. You can't do that. We got a right to, we're Americans. Okay. So, the stuff that we put up with, like if we have a $5,000 water bill, okay, so 4,000, it'll be 5,000 in a minute because it keeps going up. They can keep it, you know. Okay. Why we'll run a hose from here right over there. Anything we need to do, we'll have it over there. And if we need to make tea and coffee, we'll have a big pot of water. We'll pour all the things, and we'll have a nozzle. You want to take a bath or a shower, you got warm water right down there. You could make it just the way you want. And you stick that hose through the window, and guess what? Whoosh. Simple as that. It's simple. When we go to hearing or court, we're going to tell them we're not paying over $5,000. You must be crazy. We're not going to pay that. And this is how that happened. We're not paying that. And we don't care what you do, whether you like it or not. But you can forget that. Not only we're not doing it, but right now we actually don't have it. Not to waste. And then all those barriers they put up. How is it that every time Allah finds a way for us to pay all of these bills and people will steal your stash of money or they'll do all of that over and over again? That's Allah. It's Allah. And plus, we've been doing it so long that we like the people that's doing it. Now, that's the difference. We like the people because you can train yourself. And you know what the people are, how they've been trained and everything. So you know what they're missing. And they're going to be missing a lot because once you get a chance to deal with all of these things, you actually know what happiness is. And some people say happiness is going fishing. They got the things on it, right? Some people, for us, happiness is struggling fi sabilillah, in the way of Allah. That's what happiness is. Why? Because it is. And the hadith says about contentment. Contentment, the hadith is that you should choose struggling in my cause as your leisure, as your fun, as your hobby. If you do that, I'm going to take care of everything. Don't you worry about a thing. And if you don't do it, you ain't going to never get enough money. You ain't going to never get enough rest. You're going to be working all the time and you ain't going to have, you won't have enough money. But if you do this, you won't have but 50 cents and that'll be sufficient for you. Well, it don't say exactly that, but that's what it means. I'm going to move toward a close, but I have technically had, I'm just saying this, sufficient amounts of money at an early age. So I know what wealth is like. I know what it feels like. But I also have learned what contentment is, what happiness is, what stability, and it wasn't present at that time. With youth, with all that money, with everybody waving at you and telling you how, it's just like a movie star. Why ain't they happy? They got all the same stuff. Something's wrong. Hey, man, the people don't know what happiness is just like the idea about heaven and hell. The people get a chance to look over in heaven, and the angels say, oh, ain't nobody look over in hell. There ain't nobody going there. Good God Almighty, boy, that's bad. Then they show what's surrounding it. Tenders, cutie pies, everybody waving at you and clapping in the hands and all the things. Right? That's surrounding all of that. Then they say, oh, I don't think nobody going to miss that. And then they show you paradise. What is it surrounded by? Police, informers, people pulling your wires loose in your car and all of that. That's heaven. Nobody wants that. They don't want it. They're trained not to want it. But that's what it is. It's a wonderful disguise. Okay. But now, Sabiqun, people go out first, people accept the challenge, and they're also a model and their example. And remember, the same ayat we use for Eid al-Adha all day. Inna Ibrahim kana umatan qanitan lillahi wa lam yakun min al-mushrikeen. Ibrahim was a ummah, all by himself. That's what it technically is saying. Because he's the father of monotheism. Everybody else was polytheist, so he's in fact, he had a pretty good job. His father was like the head idol man. It was like Billy Graham or some of the big preachers, T.D. Jakes. That was his daddy. Right?
Yeah, that is true.
Chief idol, he said, man, look at here. And so he selected another alternative, another way, another method, and that produced unlimited access to the unity of Godhead. And whatever this foolishness is producing, I never even thought that this level of, let's call it, I'm going to just call it happiness because I don't know what else to call it. Happiness, stability, I didn't think it was possible because I had everything that they said would make you happy, and it wasn't happening like that. I wasn't sad. That's sure I wasn't sad. But it ain't like this. It's a type of contentment. And then if a person don't do those type of things, he'll be working from now on and he'll never be happy. And never be contented. Okay, let me speed up a little bit here. I'm just going to be brief on these last two statements. This comes from well-studied behavior patterns. We've been studying what we've been doing all along. All of these, whether it's notes or books, all of we keep up on what we're doing. You know, even if somebody steal it, well, if they steal these, it'll be here, there. It's already, you know, they can't do it. And plus, when they steal a whole notebook, it's okay. Because I'm going to make another notebook. And if I read that notebook, it's like reading, no matter how far I go back, it's the same thing, but it's evolved. The only thing you can see in that is the evolutionary pattern. It ain't doing that dummy no good because he's stolen some of my whole books with all the stuff in it. It ain't doing him no good. He's the biggest idiot that they could, and when I would leave and go run and I was at the Masjid, they could read all of my stuff. They'd go right in, they'd read it all. All the notes, everything. They listened to all the lectures.